going on, everybody? Star Wars Dad back for another video. Today we're going to be checking out Piett Red to see if we can get this deck to work in the current aggro meta that we are in. Before we get into today's video, please make sure to check out my Patreon, as we are building a great community there with deck lists every day and get monthly giveaways and all sorts of stuff. And please make sure to like and subscribe, as it really does help the channel to grow and helps me to keep pushing these videos out. And make sure to sign up for the 4,500 subscriber giveaway, where I'll be giving away a Blue Leader, a Millennium Falcon, and a Fetz Fire Spray Prestige foil to 3 lucky winners once we hit 4,500. So to get into today's video, the challenge with this deck, of course, is surviving, right? Like, we can do some really, really awesome things with Piett and, our big spaceships, and just blow our opponents out of the water and just wipe the whole board with barrage and turbo laser, but we have to get there first. So we're playing a ton of early removal to stall our opponent and a lot of early sentinels. So 3 Daring Ray, there's just a lot of 2 HP units right now with spaceships and Luke, and so it's a very relevant piece of removal that we can either use on turn 1, turn 2, or just squeeze it in. The Yularen is a card that I added in as I was getting run over by aggro decks early on in testing, and it is, even if it gets me 1, 2, 3 life, it's worth it just to kind of slow them down, because we're just trying to slow them down enough to get to 6 to 8 resources, which is kind of our sweet spot in this deck. 3 Force Choke to deal with leaders, to deal with big threats on the ground. Turn 1 plays just to slow them down, and we have 3 Shoot Down as well as another turn 1 piece of removal. It's a very good piece of removal for space heavy decks. So really, any combination of those 3 removals on turn 1 we want to find, so that we can just remove whatever they put down, so that we can just kind of keep removing whatever hits the board. 3 Phase Dark Trooper and 2 Cell Block Guard. I did add the Cell Block Guard in recently as just another early sentinel. I felt like it's cheap and it just slows them down again. It also is a card that we can hit with Vader as well as Dark Trooper. And I do think that those are really important, because ground heavy decks are definitely our weakness. Our game plan is definitely to win in space, right? So we really need things to slow them down on the ground. If we don't find the right piece of removal, the Sentinels at least slow them down. 3 Super Laser Tech and 3 Resupply are our ramp spells, as well as our Assault Cruiser later on. I did have the Resupply Carrier in here at first, but it felt a little too slow and unnecessary, and it wasn't doing enough for me, and that's kind of where I added in like the Cell Block Guard and the Bombing Run. 3 Merciless Contest is another just turn 2 removal. We can use that in combination with like Laser Tech to sacrifice it and kill something that's a threat. 3 Open Fire. And then the 2 Bombing Run, that was also a recent addition, and it's felt good. It's just another way to kind of like deal with what's on the ground, as well as in space. For decks that go wide against us, those are the decks that we really struggle with. So we needed an earlier answer. Overwhelming Barrage sometimes doesn't find a unit to be useful, especially like if our Sentinels just die early on. Our best targets for that are like Ruthless Raider, and then it's in between like Darth Vader, Assault Cruiser, and Devastator are kind of our next big targets. So it's not a card that always hits on curve. So the Bombing Run has felt like a nice way to slow things down, and it works well with like Open Fire and Daring Raid and Force Chokes to finish things off. So that's been really nice. And we're not playing a ton of ground units, so it's mainly for the ground, but we're going to use it in space too if they go really wide against us. The 3 Barrage, of course, is great once we have our spaceships out. Same with the Turbo Laser, as just incredible forms of removal. 3 Ruthless Raider as a way to damage things as well, to finish things off that have been hit with Bombing Run. And then also on curve, we can play Ruthless Raider into Planetary Bombardment, which is so much fun when that happens, as a way to start closing the game out and hit them for 12 damage. Bombardment is definitely one of our closers. A couple Vader as a way to just kind of slow things down on the ground, find those Sentinels. You could argue to even play a 3rd Cell Block Guard in here, just to, even in the sideboard, as a way to just kind of slow our opponents down. I do have 2 Traitorous kind of in that slot, which I think is fine against those aggro decks, but you could argue that one of those could be a Cell Block Guard, I guess. The 1 Turbo Laser Salvo, which is really sweet. It's going to be better against more mid-range opponents, but it still has its uses against aggro in some situations. The two assault cruisers, just a really strong space unit with ambush to take out a lot of threats, as well as ramp us into our devastators. Three of the 8-drop devastator, which is just so much fun because we can play it on 6 resources with Piett, of course. A couple reinforcement walker, that was another late addition just because of aggro and not wanting to get run over, and that has helped. Like, it helps us to stabilize, and it's also just really good against like discard heavy decks to draw cards. A couple of devastators is kind of our end game. A third copy of that in the sideboard, and then playing a couple of Sunfighters, Black Sun Starfighters for heavy space decks as our early Sentinel. A couple Traitors for more aggressive opponents. 3 Palps Return is coming in against mid range and control. The Relentless is control. And we're playing 3 Palps Return because we are playing just 1 Relentless. We're playing a couple Reinforcement Walker. And so it's just a way to just get whatever we need back against whatever opponent. And then the third copy of Devastator. So far this deck has been, when it works, it's amazing. Like, you could just blow your opponents away. And then there's been those times where you just get run over. So this list has felt like I have more of a chance against those aggressive opponents. The removal combined with the Sentinels and even the bombing run has really helped. And then, as long as we get to like that 6 to 8 resource range and our life total is not too low, then we can usually steer things in a direction where our opponent just can't deal with our big spaceships. But let's get into a few games and kind of see how this deck performs. And as always in these videos, I'll be kind of testing different versions of this deck to get to this place right here. Is kind of how I do things. So if you see a few different cards in there, it's because I was trying to make them work and trying to get to the most optimal list that I could get to. All right, see if this hand can make it happen. 1 resupply. Just need as much from as removal as we can, right? Of course, it's a shielded unit, but what are we gonna do? I feel like reinforcement walkers gonna be pretty important against them if we can get to it. Okay, let's go ahead and go here. Try to ramp a little bit. Sure. I would imagine he's not going to ping us. He is, okay. Surprised by that. Not gonna lie. Bombing run's not bad here. Kind of achieves similar effects. Go Ruthless Raider into Bombing Run into Vader, I guess. Alright, Bombing Run, I want to do it next turn to try to just put them under a lot of pressure. Let's play Ruthless Raider and get rid of the Smuggler. Okay. That definitely hurts. We just let. I guess we're gonna have to let reinforcement more. Go. Just he's only at 3 resources. I'm okay with killing Ezra here. Okay. He's going in for 6 to face. Okay. He's not gonna be able to play anything. Okay. mean, at this point, Piett is just bait. Like, we're not too worried about Piett surviving. Sure, it'd be nice if we draw a Devastator, but that's not what we're looking for here. Again, a bombing run is nice, but would I rather just get pressure? I think I'd rather get pressure instead of a barrage. Yeah. Vader next turn, hopefully. Barrage is also really good. We can kill Sabine, I think. So if he attacks into Piett here, that's okay, because we will just kill him with Vader. Bombardment is good. He's not Tarkintown yet. I'm sure he'll probably Tarkintown Vader. Nada. It's okay. Okay. Going with the surprise strike. We're just going to continue to play defense. Okay, barrage is good. Bombardment is also good. Depends on what we draw. If we draw into like a red Devastator, I think that's going to be a good call. Just continuing to play defense. Can Tarkintown Vader, that's fine. Take 12. I'll take that all day. Force throw. Okay. Just gonna let the barrage go because Vader's another way to get in for boatloads of damage. At this point, we don't really need to resource again, and I think we are in good shape because we got what we need. Good game. Yeah, we'll just let that go. Good game. Yeah, I think they made a mistake pinging our laser tech early on. I think that was the misplay. I think it would have been closer if they had not done that. I still think we were in good shape. They didn't hit us like with a ton of discard until just now, but we were already in a good spot. So, but now the good one. Alrighty. Looks like I got a good amount of early interaction. I'm gonna hold on to Devastator. I'm trying to think. Do I want to just play? We're definitely gonna let go of Vader. I think Vader's not that important. Probably not Force Choke either. We're going first, so we can play Piett here, I think, and just try to establish that. Just see what we can do. Daring Raid is going to be important most of this contest. Okay. Is he playing the droid vulture version of this deck? Okay. We can Daring Raid here. I do think ramping is important to get to Devastator because Devastator is going to win us the game. I like Ruthless Raider also because it's a piece of removal. It's decisions, right? I think we need both pieces of removal to slow things down. I think Raider's going to be pretty important. Alright. Let's just go Daring Raid here. We can play Ruthless Raider in 2 turns. Okay. Probably just want to go ahead and claim the initiative. Okay. Shoot towns, good. That Devastator's also good. My goodness. So next turn, we're going to be on the spaceship Ruthless Raider. And probably not the contest, yeah. I think that just kind of loses its luster because they go so wide. Can take the damage from the tokens. Okay. That's not bad. But do you want to just get rid of this Raider down? Let's just kill something. Just go ahead and get Piett out, claim the initiative. Okay. Okay. So we can do 4 indirect damage into a planetary bombardment. Is pretty disgusting. Got a second one of these. That doesn't feel like a bad thing. Alright, we're gonna let one of them go just in case we need the Sunfighter, just in case they have a way to deal with the Devastator, right? It has a shield? That's annoying. Can do 4 damage to the jumper. What just happened? Okay. We're gonna kill that. Okay. And for 2. Yeah, having Piett here would be nice. Okay. Surprised that he's attacking into that. It's interesting. Yeah, we want to kill the Victor leader. What's he putting Vader on? He's not putting Vader on anything. Well, Aquatines is pretty disgusting. Daring Raid's not bad. So we can play Aquatine, ramp up into Devastator plus Daring Raid. He's giving us plus 5/5. This is a 7/8. Okay, so let's go. Daring Raid here. Oddly. Put him in an awkward situation. If he goes Vader there, we can trade with Devastator. He did not. Okay. Getting in for a ton of damage feels pretty good. Gonna take 12 to his face. And then we have Devastator coming in next turn. We'll say when this deck works, it's a ton of fun. It's one of the most fun decks to play. Oh, shoot. All right, we're gonna go here. Sorry, I didn't realize I had to assign it. My bad. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Just basically give Vader no targets. Go to 27. I guess we could have just done 2 to his face, but yeah, I don't think it matters at this point because we have game either way. So okay, well maybe it did matter. It's gonna kill the Piett. Okay, well that's it. That's funny that that happened like that. All right, good game. Yeah, as I say, I don't know how he deals with that. We just attack him with Devastator for game. That was a fun one. All right, no mulligan. I like our early Sentinels and our early interaction. I think we're just gonna let go of Devastator and Piett here, just because like we're not trying to be cute against Sabine. We're just trying to stop them from beating us. So we're just gonna play the Black Sun Starfighter here. Yeah, it doesn't feel great. Shoot down would be nice. I think Devastator is one of our endgame cards. We already got rid of one. Yeah, I'm gonna hold on to the Force Choke for next turn. They could have an ambush unit here. We'll see what they do. Oh, okay. He's doubling up on his Phoenix. Okay, it's cool, I guess. Shoot down or open fire would be nice, so that we can. There we go. That's the card. Shoot down plus Force Choke feels like a good turn. I don't care about that. I mean, we know they're going to try to ECL our Piets, so we're going to play the. Should we even play the Dark Trooper here? Should we even play the Piet here? I think we have to let go of Devastator, right? Yeah, it's just too far away. Fighters for Freedom is definitely a problem, so we need to remove that. This does 3 damage to a space unit. Okay, well he doesn't have the ECL. Um, let's just kill Luke. Shoot down the wing leader, I guess. They don't have any big spaceships right now, so I don't really want to just pull Piet out there just to die. Yeah, I'd kind of want to at least get Dark Trooper down. Something down, right? We'll see. I'm just trying to slow them down so we get to our big stuff. Okay, that's a third Devastator, dude. That is not a good feeling. Yeah, I'm gonna let go of the barrage. I'm gonna try to ramp a little bit here and try to get closer to Devastator. Because we get to 9, then we can just get it out anyways, even if Piet dies. Let's go here to try to get their big attack off first, so that they don't go for our Sentinel. They have not ECL'd yet either, just something to keep in mind. Okay, yep. Alright, there's that. Maybe they won't have a way to kill Phase Dark Trooper. It looks like they do. They did not. Okay, we're gonna get this out. Take our chances, okay? So we attack in. Oh, he claimed the initiative, okay. Um, can't kill anything. Don't want to make it easier to kill, so best thing we could do here. Ooh, okay, we got a couple options here. Is attack him with laser tech, and then try to get to Devastator, the big one. See if we have enough time for this to happen. Basically, just have to hope they don't have a Wrecker or Poe after they take out the Dark Trooper. Okay. We could play this Devastator actually and just get that out, which still feels pretty good because, yeah. Because then we can still play the other Devastator even if Piett dies this turn, next turn, with a laser tech death here. That makes the most sense so that we're not susceptible to not being able to do anything this turn. Plus, we get to remove a unit, so both options are great. Okay, there's, yep, that's what I figured. It's going for the kill. So we will just take out Poe Dameron. So we don't want to take a boatload of damage from Poe. Let's get that in range of dying. Okay. Claim the initiative. Alright, we're up to 18. Force choke is nice. So is spaceship. But we're on a 2-turn clock anyways, right? So we don't really need the Ruthless Raider. We're just gonna play Devastator. Kill Poe. Attack in for 9. They're gonna get in for 6, right? If they have Rebel Assault, that's worst case, right? Of course they do. Good God, man. So we have to claim the initiative now. So we need like Vader into a Sentinel? Good lord. Of course they had the Rebel Assault. Yeah, I mean it's just tough, man. I mean that was close. Like we had them next turn. It just the Rebel Assault's what got us. That's the one card that basically because what if they didn't have that, they attack in for 3, they go to 21, and then we attack in for 9, go to 18, and then they attack in again. And even if they had for a cause, like we could have just claimed the initiative and attacked in for 10 per game. So basically, it was just it is what it is. All right, up against Luke Red. Oof, what a hand that is. Much better. Um, Daring Ray to our face, okay? Daring Ray to our. Okay. Okay, sure. Tarkintown. He's used his hand on 2 Daring Raids. I'm gonna go Laser Tech and start to find ways to ramp because I know he wants to do Luke things. Okay, we're gonna open fire that. Actually, we could Merciless Contest that. Get to 5, play Devastator next turn. I want to hold up the open fire. Boom. Do we go ahead and deploy? I think so. Okay, he claimed the initiative. We'll go ahead and attack. We'll drop Devastator down. I'm trying to think, what card do we let go of here? I like the idea of the Sentinel. I mean, I'm just gonna go big and go home. Just clear out his ability to do much. Much too much. Okay, he's pinging us. Get in for 2. Okay. Don't need resupply. We just barraging. I mean, if he pumps up to Luke, then he's going to get 4-5, 12-8. There is a potential he could kill our Devastator. Let's just open fire. Just to Okay, that's not a card we want to deal with either. Okay, so what we can do is barrage that next turn. Oh, we can play Ruthless Raider. That's disgusting. Is he claiming the initiative or? Okay. Sure. He's going face or all right, we could do 11 damage. We're doing 9 here and 2 here. And we are winning the game. Daring raid. Good game. Bada bing, bada boom.